You are amateurs, but you're really passionate about painting. And you think that you need to have talent to be able to create paintings like these. No, you only need one thing, a method that is good enough and scientific enough. I created this channel to share with you amateur art enthusiasts so you can paint the pictures you love all by yourself, using a process and techniques that are surprisingly simple, and realize that anyone can paint, as long as the method is good enough. Hello, I'm Sun, and this is my channel. Let's start getting our art supplies ready and dive into our passion. We need to talk about drawing paper. This type of paper has one rough side, lighter in color. That's the side we use for drawing so the colors stick better. The smoother side is more yellowish, and we won't use that side. Second is tape. This is masking tape, which is made from a type of paper, so it's easy to tear by hand and doesn't stick too strongly, meaning when you peel it off, it won't tear your artwork. And here is a flat drawing board made of plywood, where we stick the paper on and draw on this surface. To attach the paper, first place the sheet neatly on the drawing board, then peel off a strip of tape that's a bit longer than the edge of the paper you want to stick. Lay it parallel to the edge and press it down evenly to stick it on, and that's it. You shouldn't stick down one end first and then try to follow along, because it's very easy to end up crooked. If it's not parallel to the edge of the paper, it'll look a bit off once you're done drawing. Tend to use the top of the palette knife to scoop up a lot of paint, like they're using a spoon. Doing this will cause the paint not to fully adhere to the surface when you spread it out. This makes you press down harder, causing the paint to spread out into a big messy blob. The second common mistake beginners make is picking up paint randomly without any order. They just smear paint wherever there's an empty spot on the palette, and by the time they need to mix colors, there's no space left to do it. To pick up paint the right way, you should use the underside of the palette knife to scoop up the paint. Remember to scoop neatly just at the tip of the palette knife. Place it on the edge of the palette, arranging each dollop in an orderly way. Be sure to save as much palette surface area as possible for mixing colors, as you can see here. Here are the two ways of picking up paint, the correct way and the incorrect way, shown below. This is the painting setup we need to prepare before we start painting. It directly affects our comfort and mindset while painting, so you should prepare everything thoroughly and in an orderly way. Avoiding clutter will help you feel much more relaxed and less confused. First, the drawing board should, of course, always be placed in front of you. You can put it on the table or prop it up against the wall, depending on what's most convenient for each stage of painting. Second is the brush washing cup. It can be any old plastic cup you have at home, but it needs to be clean and free of any grease, along with a brush cloth that absorbs water well. An old-faced towel works great for this purpose. An important note is that the brush washing cup and the brush cloth should always be placed next to each other, so you can wipe the brush right after washing it, preventing water from splashing all over the table. These two items should always be placed on your dominant hand side, the same side as the hand you use to hold the brush. A common mistake is that people paint with their right hand but put the water cup on the left side, for example, and the brush cloth on the right. Every time you finish rinsing, you end up moving the brush across your artwork to wipe it, causing water to drip onto your painting, making it messy and even getting on your clothes. You absolutely need to avoid this. And finally, when it comes to brushes, you'll always need at least 3 types: small, medium, and large, plus one more, a fine detail brush. There are various types of brushes for different purposes in different situations, but they all follow one main principle: use a large brush for large areas, a small brush for small areas, and for tiny or very fine details, you'll use this fine detail brush. This is what the process looks like when we're sitting and painting. If you place your drawing on the table, you'll have the palette in your dominant hand, with the water cup and cleaning cloth always next to each other. Simple and convenient. Or, if you set it up leaning against the wall like this, there will be a slight change in where you place the palette. You'll put it right in front of you. But one fundamental point throughout is that you should keep things organized while painting. At first, it might feel a bit uncomfortable because you have to pay attention to a lot of things, but once you get used to it, it will really benefit the way you think about handling color order. Trust me. Your brush washing cup should be filled with about 80% water. If you use too little, the water will get dirty quickly, but if you use too much, it might spill over when you clean your brush. When washing your brush during and after painting, the only requirement is that it must be clean. Clean it thoroughly from the inside of the bristles to the outside by pressing the brush down to the bottom of the cup and swirling it around to get rid of all the paint trapped inside the bristles. The brush bristles can hold a small amount of paint in the core, so if you wash it carelessly, it might look clean on the outside but still have paint trapped inside. That leftover paint will seep out and mix into the new color you're mixing, making it impossible for you to get the exact shade you want. After washing, wipe the brush on a towel and blot it dry. Avoid using a soaking wet brush to paint directly on your work right after washing. It's really not recommended. Now let's move on to the next part to see how to use the paint.